Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are in the world. Hello, hello. Kim here with this week's Oracle readings and checking in with what's happening out there in the world, what's happening in here inside of us, and making a connection between the two of those things. So, hello, everybody on Instagram. Hi over there is Angel Reiki Journey. Beautiful name. Lovely to have you here this morning. Loving your work. Beautiful. And hi everybody over on Facebook. As you come on, jump out, say hi. Let me know that you are here. Here we go. Hey Kirby. Hey Sharon. Kirby, I was definitely took up your advice, and I am going to go live on, well, I am going to put these up on TikTok, but I've got to figure out the live thing over there. So, yeah, let me get my head around that one, but thank you so much for that suggestion. Hi, Sharon. So what's happening out there? We are in the building energy phase. We've set our intentions at the new moon, and we are in the building phase of this moon cycle. So what does that mean for each of us? It means to, if we've set our intentions or set our goals, if you're more comfortable with that word, we're checking in with what is our intuition calling us to put our energy into. Where are we flowing that energy? Because we can get all up in our heads and we can say, I want to do this, and this. But if we're not checking in with our intuition and our guides and our team, then we're not in that co-creative process and doing it for the highest good of all. We're just doing it for ourselves. And, we do that from time to time, and that's okay. So we just had a beautiful weekend away in Mount Tamborine. I have had an urge to sit by the fire and look at the stars, and it was cloudy. We didn't get to see the stars, and it did rain a bit, but we committed. We sat by the fire, and I've had lots of interesting downloads happening since we've talked last. So how is it for you? Have you been receiving a lot of messages? What's going on for you? So as we feel into that, and feel free to share in the comments, and if you have been receiving lots of downloads as well, or even just some downloads. And most importantly, are you listening to those downloads? Our intuition is quite a subtle, sometimes it can yell quite loudly, but generally it's a fairly subtle messaging coming through. It might come through as a feeling, depending on what your particular way of being in the world is, but it could be a feeling. I feel like that might not be working for me right now, and it's honoring that. It's listening to those signs and those messages that come through. We're constantly being supported, and it's really about honoring those. We're guided the whole way if we open up to that and to create space to listen to it. Let me put it this way so that we get it on both screens. Alrighty, so the overall guidance for this week is purity. And purity is, again, we've got that masking there over the mind, and we've got the, is that a little caterpillar? No, it's a leaf that's going over, particularly over that band of our third eye. So it's actually talking about quietening. So maybe we're closing the physical eyes and allowing ourselves to open up into our more spiritual side, into our connection with the divine, whatever that looks like for you or means for you. And you can see in the background here that we've got a version of ourselves that is facing away. So there is a lot of messaging coming through lately around letting go of the versions of ourselves that no longer are serving us. It's like I've had a lot of experience of almost like these etheric energies are just floating away out of my system of past versions of myself, old wounds, old thoughts, old things that are just not serving me to be of my highest good and the greatest version of myself. So being mindful of our thoughts, again, we want to use our mind. It's a very powerful tool, but it is a tool. We want to make sure it's not driving. And if we do find ourselves overly in our minds, the best way I know how to create that balance is to get into the body. So do some dancing, get out into nature, move your body in some way that will move the energies that has really been, keeping us, kind of up in our heads a little bit. Shoes off, barefoot on the earth, that will really help bring us down. I spend time with my clients in Reiki, definitely working on bringing those energies out of the head and down through the body and grounding them so that we've got that more beautiful balance of flow happening there. So that's the overall card for everybody. If you would like an individual card pulled for you, just pop a yes please in the comments and I will go ahead and pull a card. Let me do a little refresh here and see what's occurring. Okay. Kirby says, oh, I'm so happy. Yeah, I just need to figure that piece out. I thought I could do it this morning, but anyway, all good. I'll work it out. Purity, lovely message and so poignant, says Sharon. May I have a card, please? Absolutely. Alrighty, let's pop that down. And on Instagram, if you also would like a card pulled, please just pop a yes please in the comments and we'll pull a card for you. Alrighty, and anybody else that's popping in over on Facebook. And if you're listening to this in the future, so the recording of it, then take what resonates, what you feel. If there's that little thing that gives you tingles or some sensation in your body, know that that message is for you. All right, Sharon, beginning, new doorway, walking through. This is all about, I was sharing with you last week, I believe, that I'm doing Lee Harris's Next Level Healer. And it is about ourselves as we let go of past versions. We're constantly presented or often presented with new doorways to walk through. And that could be just as simple as, Kirby reaching out to me last week and saying, why don't you put these on TikTok? And me going, you know what? Yeah, why don't I? Let's see if there's more people that want to hear what I have to say and the messages that Spirit brings through me. So that's a new doorway. Whatever it is to open up to each of us, whatever that intuition that's been coming through for you, Sharon, to take that next step, then there's the urging of, yep, go for it, you're ready for it to do that. So beautiful. All right, let's just do another refresh here. Hi Bronwyn, lovely to see you. You're a busy woman doing lots out there. I hope you're getting some time to slow down and smell the roses. You can absolutely have a card. All right. Okay, beautiful. Yeah. Not surprising. Self-love is the card that's coming up. So self-love, what does that mean individually? And, what are the things that bring that, that balance into your life when we're putting ourselves out there and sharing our energies out into the world, which, most of us are. What are the things that are then they're not luxuries, that they're must-dos for you to find that balance. Otherwise, what happens? We burn out. I know all about that. 2010 was definitely a burnout time for me, and it took me quite a while to collect myself after years and years and years of over exerting myself, thinking that was what being a good person was. So self-care. Self-care for me is definitely making sure that I get into nature. It's having quiet time. It's sitting by a fire. It's eating nourishing food, having meaningful conversation. It's also about having time to journal, meditation, quiet time to myself, just to contemplate, to hear, to listen. So what are the things for you that are part of your self-care regime? What does that look like now? And as we go through life, you know, what we did 10 years ago, 5 years ago, you know, a month ago, might not be so relevant now. So perhaps spend a little bit of time. What nourishes your soul? What brings you into balance? And then make sure you prioritize those. Beautiful. I'm going to write that down. I feel like it's a really important message for each of us today, is that as the world moves at this pace, we must take care of ourselves. You're welcome, Sharon. Hey, Brooke, nice to see you. Absolutely, you can have a card. Let's go ahead and do that for you. Nope, 2, we just want 1. And just to check in over on Instagram, if there's anybody there that would like a card pulled for them, please just pop a yes please in the comments, and I will most definitely get to that for you. All right, so here we go, Brooke. Realization. So we see here that this is, we're looking from night to day. And you know, last week, when was it? At the end of the week, I think it was Friday morning, I was woken at 3 a.m. That is not unusual for me to be woken at 3 a.m. with a download. So first of all, I was guided to do a journey for myself. If anybody's familiar with Brandon Baser's work, I've been using that methodology. I trained in that practice many years ago, and it's a beautiful way to get in touch with our body and to receive messages and to release things that we're holding on to that we don't even realize. And then after that, I just received this download of do this. You know, part of what I've done here is, one of those messages was to open up this group on Facebook to include gentle men as well, and to be more inclusive, and other messages that came through. So that's, you know, night to day. And although that wasn't at dawn, sometimes when you first wake up, you can have some really beautiful messages, or you may just remember the end of a dream that's actually got a message in it for you. If you can, to have pen and paper by your bed so you can quickly write those down. Or if I don't, I've always got my phone that I can write something on or record on. I often will just say, can you please help me to remember that later? And it'll come back to me during the day. So those, those messages when our mind's quiet are definitely messages coming through from Spirit. So if there's something particular, Brooke, that you've been, asking for guidance on, and don't forget to ask. We can't over ask. We've just got to make sure we listen to the response, and when we do get the response, to say thank you, to really own and acknowledge that we have received. That's what strengthens our intuition and our receiving guidance. So I hope that serves you today and really helps you with where you're at and what you're working with. Bronwyn's saying, thank you, Kim. A couple more events to do, then I can smell the roses. I'd like to suggest to you that you make sure you smell them during all of that. We can kid ourselves into thinking, I've just got to get through this, It's actually the daily practices we do for ourselves, even if they're smaller. So, please be kind to yourself. Don't burn yourself out. Lisa, of course you can have a card. Look at that card. It's jumping, tentatively jumping. All right, so we've got some resilience coming up here. And again, as I say, if even if you haven't asked for a card or you're watching the recording of this later, whatever, you know, has a little tingle in your body or goes, oh, I think that might be relevant to me, then of course trust that. Resilience, what are you carrying around that you don't need to? You know, what could you be letting go of? Is it worry? Is it carrying energy for somebody else? When we're caring people, as you are, Lisa, it's easy for us to think that we need to carry some of the load for somebody else, and it just doesn't serve them and it doesn't serve us. Of course we want to, you know, hold space for people, send love and light and do all of those things, be positive, but you don't have to carry the burden for them. So I really hope that you can, that's an act of self-care, you know, stop carrying what we don't need to carry. And that's not so easy, believe me. That's a lesson I've had to learn over and over and over again, and I'm still learning it. So be gentle with yourself in this, but just ask yourself today, what am I carrying that is not really mine to carry? Or feel for you sending you loads of love in that too. Alrighty, let me do this refresh. Oh, money worry. Okay, you're welcome, Brooke. Thank you for bringing that up. So it's very easy for us to get into that worry about money, right? Because that's our a version of our past selves that's had an experience of what it felt like when we didn't have enough. But basically, money worry is often about not enough. So how do we embrace that? Well, first of all, don't just keep it up here. Write it out. What are you actually worried about? What is the concern? When we meet something head on, we can actually dissipate the energy around it, because so often we tell ourselves these stories that don't ever happen. And so to really look at that money, what are you worried about? I can guarantee you there'll be something else behind the worrying about money. It'll be feeling like you're not contributing enough, or you feel disempowered by an employer, or you feel like you're not worthy, or you're scared that something's going to be taken away from you. You are disconnecting when you're worrying, and I do it too. So I catch myself and I say, okay, Kim, why are you doing this? And remember that everything always works out for us. Even if we've got to get creative, it's in that getting creative that allows us to remember how connected we are. And you want to understand the worry, what is actually behind the worry about money. So do a little journaling, reach out to a friend that you trust, or book a session, whatever it is, to help you move through that, because money is the energy exchange that we have chosen in this way of living, that what we use for we use money to purchase food. We use money to to receive for when we've given a service. So that's kind of the thing that we've mostly all agreed on, that is the energy that we're choosing. So it's not the money itself, it's something behind the money. I wish you abundance, and gratitude is always a great pathway out of that. Reminding yourself that you have everything you need today, right in this moment, and of course you would like more, but staying present in this moment and reminding yourself of what you do have is also a great antidote. But money's a big topic. It's a huge topic for all of us. Alrighty, let me see if there's anybody else here. We'll give it a few more moments. Let me think about anything else I can share with you that is coming up. Of course, we've got the building energy. We're moving towards the full moon, but we're also moving towards winter solstice here in the southern hemisphere. So you know, winter solstice is the longest night. So this is the time to be, you know, slowing down a little bit, not being quite so out there, quite so, you know, it's not the same as high summer where we're, you know, want to be out there socializing a lot. Winter is the composting time, the time to reflect and to go, to slow down, to be more inward, and to really notice. You know, we've switched over to the new season. I mean, officially winter is the winter solstice, but you know, this is where I change up the altars in my home to reflect the winter. I use darker colors on the altars, and I use, you know, winter. I've got some dried roses on there that are still beautiful, but they're not fully vibrant and full of the life that they once were. So you know, really allowing yourself to be connected to the seasons and slow down a little bit will also help. So let me do a quick refresh again. Okay, beautiful. Thank you so much. You're most welcome. Everybody's chatting with each other there. Okay, so if you're looking to you know, book some one-on-one time, please go ahead and do that. If you can't find the links either on Instagram or YouTube, wherever you're listening to this, Facebook, then just reach out to me, send me a message, and I'll send you the relevant one. And be gentle with yourself, be respectful of yourself. Remember that you're doing good work in the world, and you know, you've got so much more support than often we give ourselves credit for. So allow yourself to slow down enough to receive the beautiful connection and messages that are out there for each and every one of us. And I look forward to reconnecting with all of you again next week. Okay, lots of love, everybody. Abundant blessings. Bye for now.